Hi, my name is Jessica with Arrow & Kangaroo Sewing Cabinets. Today I'm going to show you how to assemble the Ava embroidery unit. It will arrive at your home in 4 boxes. It is made to fit the more industrial size heavy-duty embroidery machines. There's one for the Janome Elna and a larger one for the Baby Lock and Brother. It features 4 drawers. The top drawer holds 45 smaller spools of thread. The 2 middle drawers have a padded bottom, and then a cubby and a bottom drawer just for some extra storage. On the side it has cubbies that holds 28 larger spools of thread. It is made on industrial casters and it has a 1-inch thick MDF top to help reduce the vibration.
We're going to start with step 1, and in step 1 you're going to want to get out of your box 4 of 4 the parts box that looks like this, and inside the part box you're going to want to find the bags that are D1 with the dowels and C1 with the cam bolts. The next thing is you want to collect tools you'll need to build your Ava. We recommend an electric screwdriver and a hammer. Certainly you can use just a normal screwdriver. Phillips head will work just as fine. So out of all of your boxes you want to collect panels X, Z, D, Y2, Y3, K, and K1. And in step 1 we are going to insert the cam bolts into panels K, D, X, and Z. And you'll notice Jessica's pointing to X, which will have 6 cam bolts. Z will have 4 cam bolts. D will have 9 cam bolts. And then the next step is, and then K, part K, is going to have 4 cam bolts. Also on step 1, we want to show you that panel Z has 2 sides. So one side you'll put the cams, bolts, and the dowels, and you'll flip it over and you'll place 8 cam bolts into the holes. And we want to show you the difference in the hole. The hole for your cam bolts will have a metal ring inside of it, where the dowel holes are empty. And on this step you will not put the wood dowels in until a later step. You'll just do your cam bolts. The next step is to get your wood dowels, and you're going to place them in these same parts. So in part X, you're going to use 4 wood dowels, and you'll notice they're kind of on the edges here. And the one hole is going to be left open above the cam, and that's going to be where your connecting bolts will go in. So do not put your wood dowel in that hole, put it in the one next to it. So X has 4 dowels, Z has 6 dowels, again on the edges. K has 6 dowels, again on the edges. Part K has 2 dowels. Part K1 is going to have 2 dowels. And you'll notice K1 is the drawer that has the thread spools on it. Do not confuse the thread spools for the wood dowels. You'll still need to put 2 wood dowels on the sides. And then Y2, which is the larger of them, is going to have 4 wood dowels. And Y3, the smaller, is going to have 4 wood dowels on the sides. For step 2, you're going to need your C1 cam bolts again, as well as your D1 dowel pins. And you'll need to collect parts A, part G, part F1, part F2, your O1s, your O2s, your O4s, and your O3s. Starting with part A, you're going to screw in 8 cam bolts into the panel. With part G, you're going to screw in 9 cam bolts into the panel. With parts F1 and F2, it's going to be 2 cam bolts per panel, as well as 6 dowels per panel, and the dowels will go on the ends. Again, it's important here to make sure you're putting the dowel in the empty hole away from the cam hole. So you'll see there's a hole there near the cam. Do not put it in that hole, put it in the opposite hole. You also need on parts O2, there are going to be 2 each cams and 4 dowels on each end. In part O1, you are just placing 4 dowels, again on the ends, not in the cam holes. And lastly, on O4, you're going to do 3 cam bolts and 4 dowels. Step 3, you're going to need your panels O1 and O2, and you're going to insert your cam bolts onto your cams and dowels, as Jessica is showing you here, and there are 3 parts to this. Once you've inserted them, it's really important then to tighten the cam down. So you're going to turn the cam 180 degrees tight. and you'll do this for all 3 of these panels. Notice the orientation of where the cams are and the board. On step 4, you're going to need the additional parts of 04 and 03. So place 03 onto 04, onto the 2 wood dowels, and then you'll begin to assemble your 01 panels onto your 04 panel. Again, sliding the cam bolt down and the dowels down and tightening it down with your screwdriver by turning the cam 180 degrees. And you'll do this 3 times. For step 5, you're going to grab your additional panel Z, and you'll want the side that does not have the drawer runners. It just has the cam bolts facing up. And you're going to take your newly constructed parts 01 and 04 and lay it on top of the cam bolts and dowels, fitting all of them into their proper holes. Again, it's really important that you tighten down the cam bolts once you've got this situated. So notice how Jessica is tightening the cams 180 degrees, and on panel Z with the new addition of 04 and 01s, you're going to tighten 8 of them. So make sure you get all 8, as this will help make your construction strong. Step 6, you're going to get panels F1 and F2 and add them to part Z. The orientation is important here. Notice that the cam holes are on the bottom, and how you know what the bottom is your 03 panel is at the very bottom of the cabinet. So notice again where your cams are. You're going to have a total of 2 per panel to tighten, as Jessica is doing here. Your F2 is on the bottom, your F1 is on the top. Step 7, you're going to take panel D and add it to Z, F1, and F2. There'll be a total of 9 cam bolts that I'll need to slide on, and your dowels. We do find that you may need to smack down on it to get it to go down. But again, remember to tighten 9 cams. After you've completed step 7, you'll need to get a partner and flip the cabinet all the way over onto its side on that side panel D. This will also give you access to that very last 9th cam that was hidden underneath there, so you can tighten that up. On step 8, you want to collect part X and part Y3 because you're going to attach it to your F1 and F2 panels. Notice the orientation of the drawer runners. You'll have 2 that line up of the opposite sides, but you will have 2 that are catty corner from each other, so they will not line up. So first put your panel X onto the side of your F1 and F2 panels. You'll need to tighten 5 cams total. Once complete, you will add your panel Y3 onto your F2 panel, tightening 2 cams total. On step 9, you're going to get panel G, and you're going to add it to your Y3 panel, and you're going to need to tighten 9 cams total once you line it up with the connecting bolts and dowels. Additional to step 9 is you're going to add the 4 casters onto the bottom of panel G. To make it easier for you to line up all the cams and connecting bolts, we did find flipping the cabinet over onto its top did help us to do the previous step. Once you've completed that, then you're going to add the 4 casters using the screws in the bag of B1 as shown. And it'll come with a little Allen wrench, and you'll simply put the 4 screws per caster in and then tighten them. We do find this is rather tedious, so if you do have a 4mm Allen wrench bit, you can use your electric screwdriver and do it so much faster. On step 10, you'll notice we have flipped the cabinet over onto its top. You're going to find your panel Y2 and attach it to F1, lining up the 2 cams and connecting bolts. Notice the orientation of the drawer runners. You want them both to be across from each other. On step 11, you're going to find your panel A, and you're going to attach it to the very top, and you'll need to put 9 cam bolts down with the dowels and tighten 9 cam bolts.